onto the field. A huge game this afternoon for James Franklin and the Nittany Lions.
Let's go, man.
To take on the Maryland Terrapins. Penn State ready to go. We had rain this morning, but it has cleared out. At least the rain has for the moment. Should be dry as we move on through the afternoon. At least we hope. Alongside Matt Millen, I'm Kevin Kugler. We take a look at the Big Ten standings in the East. You see Michigan, you see Ohio State, you see Maryland and Indiana in there at 1-0 with Penn State at 1-1. This Maryland Terrapin team trying to improve on a perfect start to the 2016 season. Great to have you with us today in Beaver Stadium with Matt Millen. I am Kevin Kugler. And for Penn State to make a move up in those East standings, you've got to expect to hear the name Saquon Barkley a lot today. Probably a good sign for Penn State if you do, because he's one of the best running backs in all of college football.
There's no question about it. He has unbelievable skills, and the Copley, Pennsylvania native does it a lot of different ways. He catches the ball well out of the backfield. Sometimes you look up and you go, wow, that was an unbelievable run. Gain of 2. He's got it. And he's going to need all of that today if they're going to have any success.
Now, Saquon Barkley is certainly a guy who can get a lot done on the ground and perhaps in the screen game as well. But for Maryland, you saw that 4-0 record, and it begs the question at this point in the season, just how good is this Maryland team?
Well, I'll tell you this. They're a lot better than they were a year ago, and there's a lot of reasons why. Good discipline on defense, but mostly it comes down to them scoring points in this first half of the season. They've really been on fire. And that whole thing really is tied to Perry Hill as their quarterback. He has been much more consistent this year than he has in the past. He has been relatively mistake-free. He has to continue to do that if they're going to have any success today.
And for more on the senior quarterback for Maryland, we check in for the first time today with the third member of our crew, Lisa Byington.
Well, Kevin, Perry Hills is a Pittsburgh native, and because of that, this is actually the first time that he has started in the state of Pennsylvania. Because of that, he has about a dozen family and friends here today, highlighted, of course, by mom and dad. Now, mom tells me that she hasn't missed a game of his since he was 6 years old. She texted him this morning to be a Warrior. Perry Hills kind of rolled his eyes and said, that's Mom. It is good to be back, but I have to make this only about beating Penn State today.
And he'll have to wait a little bit, Lisa, to get onto the field. Maryland wins the toss and has elected to defer. So DJ Durkin, in his first year at the helm of Maryland, will send his defense out on the field first. A defense that has been very solid against the run all year long. Held Purdue to just 10 rushing yards a week ago. However, this is not Purdue's rushing attack. James Franklin's rushing attack features the aforementioned Saquon Barkley and the Penn State Nittany Lions, who've won 9 of their last 10 at home, trying to keep the good feeling going here at Beaver Stadium. Yeah. Penn State will start with the football. Danny Sutton getting ready to kick it off for the Maryland Terrapins. Miles Sanders back deep for the Nittany Lions. Sanders, the freshman from Pittsburgh. One of the higher touted running backs in that Penn State recruiting class of a year ago. And we are underway in State College. Here comes Sanders. And he slips, so we'll keep an eye on that footing all day long. It has rained for a good portion of the night and throughout the morning. It's dry right now. The field was covered until about 7 or 7:30 this morning, Matt, when they took the tarp off.
And then it was just kind of light rain. But everybody's different. And here, it's important in this first series, both offensively and defensively, that you check your footing and understand if you have to change any kind of cleats or anything like that. Now's the time you do it.
There's Trace McSorley, the quarterback who led the team a week ago with 73 rushing yards. That's important because we expect to see him using his feet a lot today, whether as a runner or buying time in the pocket. On first down, McSorley to the sideline. He's got Hamilton. And Hamilton out of bounds at the 37-yard line. Let's check in with Lisa Byington.
Well, guys, addressing the weather issues, both of these teams submitted about 18 to 20 footballs to the officials in the pregame. A normal day for that is about 12 footballs. They think that they will use about 12 here today for both of these sides.
And pace will be important for both of these teams as well as Barkley gets his first carry and runs into the arms of Kingsley Opara at the 40-yard line, a pickup of 3.
Kevin, we can say all the things we want about say Barkley, but the whole thing in their run game is going to come down to this offensive line. It has got to be more solid than it's been.
The pitch to Barkley. A flag is down. Barkley's got a first down and more. Tightroping down the sideline into Maryland territory at the 43.
Got a flag at the 40, but I like the play calling of Joe Moorhead right here. A week ago with Minnesota, they're crowding the box. Right now, he's trying to eliminate people in the box and get his best runner in space.
Offside. Defense number 90. Penalty declined. Result of the play is the first down.
Roman Braglio with the offsides and 2 big plays early for Penn State. One in the pass game and one on the ground.
There's Joe Moorhead, former head coach at Fordham, and he's just now getting a feel for where his team is, what it's really capable of, and what you can ask the players to do.
On the read, McSorley with a keep. There go the legs of McSorley, tripped up near the 26-yard line. McSorley picks up 17. Josh Woods kept him from getting more.
Okay, all they're doing right here, this is a read, and see the defensive end? He has to make a decision. He stayed inside. McSorley takes it to the outside. We're expecting to see a lot more of that with McSorley. A week ago, they didn't do that as much. We'll get more of it today.
On the read again, this time to give to Barkley, and Barkley into the secondary, upended by Woods at the 6-yard line. First and goal, Penn State.
Okay, perfect. This is exactly what they wanted to do. They have that defensive end. A week ago, they were trying to block him with Jasicki, and now you're going to see right there, Annabone 41, he had slowed down. He is not going to redirect and catch Barkley, and they handed it off to him.
Barkley again, and this time not getting much done. Shane Cockrell was there. He had 7 tackles a week ago, and he gets the stop after a half-yard gain.
Cockrell's a pretty good athlete. Keep in mind, he was taking snaps as quarterback just a year ago. He gained himself about 25 pounds. Good instincts. Understands how to find the ball. He's going to have to find it a lot today with Barkley.
4 carries for Barkley for 41 yards on this opening possession.
This is what they've been waiting Barkley to do, and I think it's been a good adjustment by Joe Moorhead. They have included McSorley's feet in the equation.
McSorley on second down for Gesicki, the tight end, leading across the goal line for the touchdown.
First thing you have to be able to do is get the ball to break the plane before any part of your body is down, and you can clearly see Gesicki did just that. That's the strength of what he is. Not a necessarily physical blocker at all, but he's an excellent receiving tight end.
Second touchdown catch of the year on his 20th catch overall. He's already got a career high in catches and yards this season. Tyler Davis for the extra point. And what a start for Penn State. A march from the 16-yard line, 84 yards into the end zone for the touchdown and a 7-0 lead.
Yeah, he's got to be right here. And so what they're going to do is they're going to clear this out with those wide receivers, and they want Gesicki to be able to work against one-on-one with space, and they were able to do it. They made the defender have to go a long ways before they could get to Gesicki, and the net result was 6.
We talked with Joe Moorhead and that Penn State coaching staff yesterday, and everything we saw on that drive is exactly what they wanted to implement offensively. The feet of McSorley, buying him some time in the pocket, Barkley on the ground, getting him established. What a start for Penn State. Our Cooper Tires scoring drive, they made it look easy. 7 plays, 84 yards, just 2:27 off the clock. And you know Joe Moorhead is happy right now. His team's got a 7-0 lead. Joey Julius will kick it off. Likely back deep. And Will Likely 8 yards deep. Out he comes. Likely with a little bit of a crease. That's all he needs. And he stopped just short of the 25-yard line by Monroe. Perry Hills, 1 interception in his first 4 games, Matt Millen, after 13 interceptions in 8 games a year ago. Big key to the success of this offense has been he's taking better care of the football.
Yeah, it's consistency, and he has been taking better care of the football. And you'll never have to question his toughness. His decision-making has been much better. That's on Walt Bell, the new offensive coordinator. He's done well with Hills.
Ty Johnson, the reigning Big Ten co-offensive player of the week, starts in the backfield. Quick swing pass. Broken tackle as DJ Moore up the sideline, and Moore's got a first down. That looked like a play that was going to go for a loss on the play, and instead DJ Moore was able to slip the tackle and get up the sideline for the first.
Yeah, and that's Malik Golden, and so what he's got to be able to do is slow himself down. Moore can make you miss. That's fine. Use the sideline as your friend and be sure of the tackle. Well done by Moore.
There's Johnson on first down. And Johnson tripped up by Malik Golden just across the 35.
So Malik Golden this time is what they call running the lane. And so your corner has to set that edge. And you can't let him get outside. And then you have all your people coming from inside out. And then what Golden does is he just runs. There's a lane that opens up. It's him and the runner. You got to win.
Second down and 9. Here's to the end. Lots of time. In trouble. Now he's sacked. The coverage downfield impeccable. And Garrett Sickles with the sack.
That's exactly right, Chuck. Sickles should turn around and kiss the secondary because the secondary was all over. You can see he started to get a little couple of nervous feet back there. It's exactly what Sickles needed to be able to get the edge.
One of the differences, though, for Hills, last year he might have tried to force that ball in somewhere. This year he takes the sack. Third down and 17. Pocket collapsing. Hills is sacked again. Evan Schwan blowing through the block to get to Hills, and it's punt time for Maryland.
That was with Schwan. That had little to do with coverage. They were trying to run a crossing route, which takes time. And Schwan just got the corner. You're going to watch him. Good step on Prince. And, you know, that was a very poor set by 58 Prince. He opened his hips right away. Schwan took advantage of it and was able to get the edge.
Schwan had his first career sack in overtime against Minnesota last week. Gets his second on the first series here today. It'll be Reed at the 45. Sean Reed got a block. Dancing to midfield and out of bounds. What a start for Penn State. The Nittany Lions get the score early. 2 sacks on defense. Up 7-0. Football on BTN is presented by the United States Marine Corps. The few, the proud, the Marines.
You should do a commercial like that. You sound like one of those guys on TV.
I should be. That'd be a good idea. Maybe I'll look into that in my next career. 7-0 Penn State with the early lead. And first half scoring has been a bonus for Maryland and a problem for Penn State. You see the differences entering today. Maryland had outscored teams 105-14 in the first half. Penn State had been outscored 92-54. Now, granted, it is early, but a 7-0 lead as the rain starts to fall a little more vigorously here at State College.
And James Franklin and that offensive staff with Joe Moore were acutely aware of those numbers as well.
Out the Maryland 49 on first down. Saquon Barkley trying to get to the edge. He slips through 2 tackles and out of bounds at the 43, chased out by Darnell Savage Jr. Take a look at our Auto Owners Insurance Impact players.
Saquon Barkley, in my opinion, is as good as there is in the country. Godwin's your big play guy down the field. They got to get him involved. And Jesse Anabonum, number 41 on the outside, is a legitimate pass rusher. They'll need him today.
Second down and 4 for Penn State. McSorley to the air. Open and incomplete. DeAndre Tompkins had it slip right through his hands.
Everybody is acutely aware of where Barkley is. He's the key because in the pass game and the run game, that defense is keying on him. That time they sent him out into the flat, and the defender, all he's doing is reading the defender in the middle. If they're going to jump up and respect Barkley, they're throwing it behind to Tompkins, which is what they did.
Third down and 4 with the rain falling lightly here at Beaver Stadium. McSorley. Gesicki with a lot of room. The tight end with a flag down. Out of bounds inside the Maryland 15. Josh Woods finally catches up to Gesicki all the way down at the 12-yard line.
Yeah, this is right in the area where they usually knock other defenders off.
Pass interference. Offense number 5. 15 yards from the previous spot. Repeat third down.
Where they knock other defenders off. Would you call that a pick or a rub?
Well,
a push?
Offensive guys just say, they call it, well, a little bit of a rub. We would call it a pick, and you can see Deshaun Hamilton right there. Yeah, that was, he turned himself into the defender, and they're going to call that any time. You have to have an acting degree when you play wide receiver. I don't know if they give degrees for that, but if they give them, you've got to have one.
There are not a lot of wide receiver acting jobs in Hollywood that I can tell.
But they are on the gridiron, that I know.
Third down and 19 after the penalty. McSorley looking to go deep, and that pass incomplete. Stumbling was Deshaun Hamilton, the intended receiver. Crowd wanted a flag, but they're not going to get one for that.
And he was covered by William Likely, number 4. And Likely, you're going to hear that name a lot. You're likely going to hear Likely often. He is really talented. This is a pretty darn good secondary. Likely's part of that, and he's also an outstanding returner.
8 career touchdowns on runbacks for Likely. 2 and an interception return for a touchdown. 2 on kickoff returns, and 4 punt return touchdowns in his career. Blake Gillikin to punt it away. Here's Likely. Good punt from the 14. Makes the first man miss. Can't get away from the second man. Down at the 19 in the arms of Vaughn Walker. Will Likely. We've seen him on offense. We've seen him on defense this season, of course. And now special teams. Maryland back to work down 7. Maryland down 7-0 as we welcome you back to Beaver Stadium. The Terrapins with the football from their own 19-yard line. Kevin Kugler alongside Matt Millen with Lisa Byington on the field. Perry Hills back out. Wes Brown at running back on the start of this series. They have 6 running backs that'll work into the mix. On first down, Hills on the key. Going to the short side and found some running room out of bounds at the 25-yard line. A pickup of 6 before John Reed could chase him out.
Kevin, one thing you're going to notice with Perry Hills right away is this is one competitive guy, and he's got great toughness. This was a AAA wrestling champion, state champion in the state of Pennsylvania. He is ultra competitive and has no quit in him.
Moore in motion, gets the swing. Trying to work around the block, but well defended by Penn State down at the 26-yard line. Malik Golden on the stop for Penn State, but the Nittany Lions had defenders all over the area.
Yeah, well, the key to the whole thing was Cole Farmer, number 7. Farmer did not allow anybody outside and took the defender into him, and it's going to set up this third and short, which is important right now for Maryland to get. They've got to grab some kind of momentum back at the 8-minute mark.
Another running back into the game, Matt Kenneth Goins Jr., one of the 6 that Maryland uses. He has 109 yards on the season, the senior from Baltimore. Hills on the fake. He's got the first down and more. Perry Hills, nice little fake on the toss to get to the 34.
And all he wants to do is widen that to give him a little bit of room back inside. You can see the fake. He gets him up the field. That's Bowen, 43. Bowen put him in a position of indecision, and that indecision cost him the first down.
See that pace that Maryland wants to go at. 4-man rush. Hills to the sideline, tipped and almost intercepted. Noah Farmer diving for it, trying to make the pick at second down. Let's check out today's Auto Owners Insurance impact players when Maryland's on offense.
Well, they've got to get this running game going. Ty Johnson leads the team in rushing. They'll need him. Lorenzo Harrison, when he comes in, another guy has great speed. And Marcus Allen, the leading tackler, one of the top tackles in the Big Ten, 22 tackles a week ago. I'm not a big fan of that when your safety's making that many tackles, but he's productive.
On second down, Hills wants the screen. Nice catch by Ty Johnson. Got a block. And Johnson down the sideline. Johnson turns on the Jets, and he'll take it all the way for a touchdown. That's 66 yards for number 6.
And that's exactly what DJ Durkin's team needed. They needed to grab a little bit more momentum back on their side. And this play comes on the feet of Perry Hills. He stretched that thing, and then the rest was 66 yards later for 6. It would be 666.
Yes, it would. So Maryland will shift into the extra point formation with Adam Green, the kicker. Caleb Rowe on the hold. We're tied up at 7 apiece with 7:13 remaining in this first quarter. Ty Johnson had 204 yards on the ground against Purdue last week, 66 in the air on this play. And a 7-7 lead as Johnson and his quarterback celebrate the touchdown. 56-yard screen pass from Hills to Johnson, and Johnson doing the work. His first career receiving touchdown ties this game at 7 apiece. Sanders, the short kickoff. Sanders will field from the 11-yard line, fumbles the football. Able to pick it back up, and Sanders up the sideline gets across the 20-yard line. Back to the touchdown for Maryland.
Yeah, there's a lot of moving parts. I want to show you what's going on. They're going to go with the stunt this way, and they're going to bring him down. Here's the back. They're going to fake a screen this way and then come back the other way. So it shifts the defense one side. And then I want you to watch number 8, Jacobs, right here. That is a great block. And then the rest of it is 66, a career long for Hills, and a big score gets Maryland right back in this thing.
Good start to this ball game. Fun game so far between Maryland and Penn State. High snap, McSorley able to get it into the hands of Saquon Barkley, and Barkley tumbles down near the 24. Pickup of 2. Shane Cockrell on the stop.
And one of the things that you've seen in the first 4 games with Barkley is he hasn't had much room to run. And when you break it down and look at it, you'll see him. He'll get like a gain of 3, and it's one of the most unbelievable runs that you've seen. He can make people miss. You can count on him to beat one.
Yeah. Quick slant. Nice grab in traffic by Gesicki. You mentioned it as he gets the first down, Matt. May not be the best blocking tight end in the Big Ten, but he's got excellent hands, and we've seen it so far today.
Yeah, and you can put it anywhere in his reach. He's got a nice range. And anywhere in his reach, he's going to bring that thing down. This is nice by Joe Moorhead, what he's doing. He's separating Gesicki away from the pack inside and clearing the box out, giving him less numbers to block.
McSorley on the keep, using the legs. McSorley tripped up at the 41, an 8-yard pickup. Cockrell on the tackle.
This is a departure of what we've seen. So they have been keeping the tight end inside and running that split zone read. Now they have him outside, and they're putting the onus back on the quarterback to make a decision and use your feet, and it's been effective.
Barkley with the first down to the 45. Roman Braglio on the stop.
So these defensive ends, Braglio on one side and Abonum on the other side, they're going to have to be good decision makers and quick decision makers, because when that ball is in Barkley's hands, it's up to McSorley to make the right decision. You have to force him to decide.
On first down, McSorley with time to the sideline, and a catch made by DeAndre Tompkins. Short of the first down by a yard. J.C. Jackson on the coverage.
Ball's coming out quick. It's coming out quick for a reason. They don't trust their offensive line in terms of long yardage throws. Let's see if he caught this thing and had control all the way through. There's the catch, and there's the control. That's a good catch.
2nd and 1. McSorley on the keep. Nice little juke, and he's got the first down. Roman Braglio got him by the ankle. 42-yard line and a first down for Penn State.
That's what you do. And so if I'm Maryland now and I'm a defensive guy and I'm on the sideline, I'm saying, look, the quarterback, clearly part of their game plan is for him to run. I want to pound him every chance I get. Beat him into submission. If he's going to declare himself as a runner, you make him pay for it every time.
Already 3 runs for McSorley. Not scrambles, but designed runs. On first down, Barkley, just a little teeny hole that he was able to find at the 36-yard line. He made himself very small getting through there, man.
They call that getting skinny. And something I really have a problem with, but what he does there is shows good runners' patience. And you worry about a guy who has to create all the time that they lose their runners' patience. Clearly, Barkley has it.
On second down, McSorley looking deep, looking for the home run ball, and it's incomplete. He wanted Chris Godwin. Coverage by Alvin Hill, and it's 3rd down.
Godwin has been their big play threat down the field. And these corners are pretty darn good. They're going to have a problem, but it's really a little bit tougher when your hand is holding that number. But no harm, no foul. Good job of defense, and sets up 3rd and short.
Barkley's got 8 carries for 58 yards today.
I was going to circle Gesicki. That's who you want to keep your eyes on right here.
3rd and 4. Pressure coming. McSorley gets rid of it and almost intercepted by Likely.
I would steer clear of Will Likely anytime. He's a slot defender. That guy's got great quickness, got great change of direction. Yeah, you better have a clear open. Now, he doesn't. He's got pressure on him. He's going to make a hasty decision, and Likely almost made him pay.
Carter with that heat, and McSorley fortunate that the punt team will come on for Penn State. Likely back to return.
That's good defense, and I like that play call, that defensive play call. A little bit of pressure, trust your secondary. They don't trust this is safe punt. They don't have anybody all the way back. They don't trust him.
Pressure coming, and Gillikin gets it off. Big punt. It'll bounce at the 8. And Penn State's going to do exactly what they wanted to do. Pin the Terrapins inside their own 10-yard line. Well, where are the guys next week for the BTN Tailgate. They're in Bloomington, Indiana. Next Saturday, 10:30 a.m. Eastern. They'll get you ready for the entire day of football. Dave Repson, Jerry DiNardo, and Spice Adams in Bloomington. Presented by Dairy Queen on BTN and streaming live on BTN to go next Saturday, 10:30 a.m. Eastern time.
Anthony Adams looked like a guy I'd have a blast with.
Yeah, you guys would have a good time together.
One of those guys who likes to have fun. He loves football. I could deal with that.
So you're saying you wouldn't have fun with Jerry DiNardo?
You can't. Once I get past all that hand movement, we have a blast.
On first down from the 7-yard line, trying to find a little running room to the 10 is Lorenzo Harrison. Not much there for Harrison as he's brought down by Schwan.
And not much there, and he still picked up 3 yards. It's one of those things you go, like, there's nothing there. How'd he do that? He's got really good feet in the hole. Change of direction is excellent.
He's got a touchdown in each of the first 4 games. First time in Maryland history a freshman's been able to do that. And movement up front. Everybody pointing at everybody else.
That's called the point drill.
Ball start. Offense number 63. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
It's Mike Minter as we check in with Lisa Byington.
Penn State defensive line will be calling fronts all afternoon. They've been getting instructions. You'll watch them stand over the ball first and then look to the sideline second for the call, not the other way around. Sean Spencer, the defensive line coach, wants them to keep the penetration and the pressure coming. He says, if we can get to Perry Hills, he is in trouble. Keep the heat coming.
2 sacks already today for Penn State in this first quarter. On second down, Hills under the heat again, but is able to get away. And Hills tripped up across the 15 by Marcus Allen.
Short. Nice decision by Hills. And you see how he set it up. He looked outside. He made the defender move from inside out and cleared that. And then he was able to take off.
Now Hills is limping a little bit after that tackle. He's favoring that right leg a little bit. 3rd and 1.
He's waiting. He's waiting for the painkillers to sit his natural plane. He's an old wrestler. He ain't getting out there.
3rd down and a yard. On the sweep, Morgan, first down and more. Delbert Morgan across the 40 and down at the 45-yard line in the arms of Robert Windsor. How about Teldrick Morgan with a flag?
Timeout for an injured player.
No flag, an injured player. Looks like Sharif Miller is down.
That's a nice piece of running right there. Sharif Miller is down, and they've had a lot of guys banged up. What they're doing is they're going to get him in space. That's what he does well. And watch this right here. This is really nice. Back and forth. Picks up about another 6 yards. It'll be 1st and 10 for Maryland when we come back.
Good State College, Sharif Miller able to walk to the sideline under his own power. For Penn State, first down from the 45 for Maryland. Hills off play action. Hit as he throws over the middle, and it's intercepted. Right into the hands of Brandon Smith at the 45.
That looked like Sickles, number 90. He's the guy that Smith should turn around and give a big hug to. So he was able to turn the corner, and you're going to see him right here. And he's going to take that edge. Again, not a good set. Now they're trying to pull inside out with a tight end. You should never let a tight end block you, ever. It's like, I think it's actually sinful. And that time he passed the test.
Trying to think of the deadly sins. I don't remember if
7 of them. Yeah,
that might be 7A.
That's actually,
maybe that came in the pamphlet afterwards.
Yeah.
Only the 2nd interception thrown by Hills this year, and now Penn State takes over at their 45-yard line. Barkley on first down. Not much running room that time. Anna Bonham able to get in on the stop of the 46.
Raglio and Bonham are the guys, Anna Bonham are the guys who've got to make the quarterback make a quick decision, and Barkley. So now you go 3 by 1. They're going to spread things out, trying to loosen the numbers in that box. Still have Barkley down inside.
Second and 9 for McSorley and Penn State. Back to the air, leaping up for it. Did he get the foot down? Deshaun Hamilton, he did. What a catch. First down at the 40 of Maryland.
College football, you only have to have 1 foot down inbounds. You must have control and then the foot inbounds. And he does. Nice decision by McSorley and a nice catch by Hamilton.
McSorley on the keep. Oh, a little wing to the sideline. He finds Godwin, and there's a flag down. Was he across the line of scrimmage?
Yeah, and he threw it right away, and it looks like that's probably what they're going to call, but I like the play call. McSorley's playing the edge. That's exactly what you want to do. This is Joe Moorhead all the way. So you're going to see it's right
Illegal
here.
forward pass. Offense number 9. Pass was thrown beyond the line of scrimmage. 5-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Lost it down. Second down.
And not only was his whole body over the line of scrimmage, so was the ball. And so they're going to call that every time. That's a no-brainer.
5-yard penalty, not huge. The loss of down, big. 2nd and 15 now at the 44-yard line.
They had Barkley on the other side wide open on a swing route.
McSorley off play action. He's going to tuck it and run. And out of bounds near the 40-yard line. Good job by Shane Cockrell holding his ground.
Cockrell's smart, but he didn't. He tried to give him a Walter Payton imitation right there with that high knee. Like, there's only one Walter. I'm sorry. Cockrell was like, no, I recognize that's not Walter Payton. Well done by Cockrell. Good discipline, and sets up this 3rd and 10. So let's see how they match. It looks like they're in a cover 2 shell. They're going to try to force things underneath.
McSorley on 3rd down. Oh, pocket collapsing. He's in trouble. Gets away. McSorley now on the run. He's got the 1st down.
Kevin, it's a cover 2 shell, but they went man under with a 2 deep look. And what that means is the defender's backs are to the quarterback. And so they're going to lock on coverage, which is effectively blocked. And when that happens, McSorley senses it and takes off. Huge 1st down.
And a big play to end the 1st quarter here in State College. Tied at 7, but the Nittany Lions on the move. In the rain in State College. Kevin Kugler, Matt Millen, Lisa Byington with you, our entire BTN crew, as we're back to work on 1st down. Saquon Barkley, a little hesitation, finds the hole and gets to the 20-yard line. Let's go back to this last play a moment ago.
Yeah, so they are committing 8 people to the coverage, okay? This is called man under 2 deep, okay? And they think they're going to even help themselves by putting this guy right here on McSorley for his feet. And McSorley still beat him.
There's Barkley trying to get away, and he lost his footing. Roman Braglio pushing him out of the picture. And then the footing fails for Barkley. So now 3rd down, and that lost a couple back to the 22-yard line. So 3rd and 5 here.
And so for Maryland right here, this is a big down. If they can hold it to just a field goal attempt, they've won this series.
3rd down this year has been a problem for Penn State. 2nd worst in all college football, converting at just 25% on 3rd down this year. 0 for 2 today. McSorley over the middle. Gesicki, the tight end, with the catch right at the marker, tackled by Savage.
Now they're marking it at that spot. They're marking at that spot, and it's going to be the spot of the top official. The line's been all the way at the top. So here's the hit. And he's down. So knees are down, and the ball comes out as he rolls. So they're going to keep it right there, and that's
the
first down.
Yep. So they got just what they needed on 3rd and 5, and the first conversion on 3rd today for Penn State keeps the drive alive. McSorley on the keep, and he'll slide down at the 13-yard line.
Yeah, they're going to mark it back to about the 12. Remember, in football now, it's where you start your slide. Not where your knee hits first, but where you start the action of the slide, and that brought it back.
Second down and 6. 3 receivers to the top of your screen. Second down, bobbled snap, McSorley diving down. And you wonder, with the rain continuing to fall, we've seen a couple of extra slips, a couple of bobbles. Is the rain having an impact on the footing and or the ability to handle?
Well, it hasn't in their man coverage. And so who's been the guy who's hurt him so far? It's Gesicki. And so you're going to have to get somebody with a little tighter coverage on Gesicki and get up in his face and make him, see, and so he's down here, right in the slot. So I would get him a tight coverage on him because he's just running away from coverage. Now he walks down. That's smart.
3rd and 6. McSorley incomplete.
Much better. Now that was good defense right there. So they tightened it up. They learned on the last 3rd down. And this time Jackson, number 7, is right on top of his coverage and is going to force the field goal. This is a win for Maryland.
So 4th down, on comes Tyler Davis, who has hit 17 straight to start his career as a kicker. It's a Penn State school record, the longest active streak in FBS, this one from 30 yards out. One of 13 kickers in FBS that entered the weekend perfect on the season. And he will remain in the perfect category. 18 straight, 10 of 10 this year, and 10-7 the lead for Penn State. Staff, Kevin Kugler, Matt Millen, Lisa Byington, back here at Beaver Stadium. Joey Julius with the kickoff. It'll go through the end zone for the touchback. And for the first time today, we go to Mike Hall in Chicago with a T-Mobile studio update.
Hey, Kev, the other game right now in the Big Ten is Iowa-Minnesota. This LaShawn Daniels run would be a good one, but would be stopped short of the end zone. They would convert it to a field goal. That's it for your scoring. 3-0 Iowa early on.
You know, Mike, it would have been something if you had told us that that was a 35-31 kind of ball game in the first half, but I don't know if anyone would have believed that. 3-0 seems to fit a little bit more of what we expected out of Iowa-Minnesota today. Here a 10-7 ball game. Maryland back to work at the 25-yard line. Lorenzo Harrison will start this series at running back for Maryland. Here's Harrison with the carry, trying to get to the edge. Harrison, nowhere to go, somehow gets yardage. Picks up 3 out of nothing before Smith can make the tackle.
Kevin, what's even more impressive about that is they slanted that way defensively, and they strung it out the whole time, and he still was able to pick up a few yards.
Motion from Hayward, the tight end, on second down. Hills on the keep, and Hills down at the 30. Brandon Smith on the stop now, a 3rd and 5 for Maryland.
But he got it to 3rd and manageable, and so now his feet become a part of the equation to have to defend, and also your receivers outside and the back out of the backfield. And so choose your defense wisely. I'll go with a little tight man here and make him have to be accurate with the ball.
Wes Brown in at running back now for Maryland. DJ Moore in motion. 3rd down. The toss to Moore. Nowhere to go. John Reed perfectly defended.
His name said it all. It was a perfect read. There was no deception in that thing at all. He had anticipated him coming back. He went in Z-short motion and landed up on the side, and Reed came in motion with him and read it perfectly.
So the Penn State defense comes up with a 3-and-out. And Wade Lease will punt it away. Noticing a few chunks of turf starting to show up on this ever-dampening field here in the rain.
Maryland also has gone to a quicker passing game.
John Reed at the 33 with the fair catch. And a timeout on the field. 10:24 remaining in this first half. the rain continuing to fall in State College. Well, you never know what you find on the sidelines. That is the designated satchel for the footballs on a rainy day. Robinson on the carry, and Andre Robinson gets nothing as we go downstairs to Lisa Byington.
Kevin, I think the technical term I was given was special football carriers here, and both managers for both teams have them on the sideline. Each one can hold about 3 footballs. I've been watching these managers. They've been pretty consistent. Every time the ball comes out of play, they've been switching in a drive football. And again, they'll probably use about 6 footballs in this half. They'll switch it out for 6 new footballs. They kind of joked and said, you know what, we call them pizza bags, because it looks like we're delivering pizzas.
That's right. I was thinking you'd get a couple burgers in there, too.
2nd and 11. McSorley on the run. And McSorley with a first down and more. All the way inside the Maryland 45 to the 44 before Jermaine Carter can catch him. Trace McSorley picks up 25 on the scramble.
Yeah, watch Cockrell. That's his job, number 2. His job is right there. Did not get it done. McSorley, you get a little bit of juke and a big first down. They have taken Cockrell and they put his eyes on the quarterback. His job is to run him down when he breaks the pocket. He's going to have to do better than that.
31st play this year for Penn State of at least 20 yards or more. This is Allen. Mark Allen inside the 40 and down near the Maryland 37. Cockrell and Savage there on the stop.
Penn State in the interior of their offensive line are playing 2 freshmen. McGovern on one side, Bates 52 on the other. Not real strong on the inside. They're trying to stay away from that inside run game. It's a learning process.
2nd and 4. Allen again. And Allen down near a first down at the 33-yard line. Alvin Hill on the tackle.
That's going to be close. They're going to give it to him.
Allen will leave. He gave Saquon Barkley a little extra breather. Now Barkley back on the field.
Now all the focus goes to 26. Just watching the tapes from the last few games, and wherever Barkley goes, he's got 2 defenders following him.
McSorley on the keep again. Down to the 27-yard line. He picks up 6. Our doubleheader of Big Ten action continues next. The Illini taking on Purdue. Coverage will start right after our game on BTN and BTN to go. Barkley on 2nd and 4 to the 24-yard line. Yard or so short. Ucandu and Kane combining on the stop. 6 straight run plays for Penn State. Has him set up with 3rd and 1. Barkley, first down and more. And Saquon Barkley all the way to the 18. He needed 1. He got 6. And Penn State moves the chains.
You don't have to give Barkley much room. He's going to get something. That kid is really talented. Whitehall High School down in outside the Allentown area from Copley, Pennsylvania. This guy is just getting better and better as he goes.
He's got 70 yards on the ground. McSorley 77 in his first half. And McSorley looking for a few more as he dives to the 14-yard line. A pickup of 3. Melvin Kane on the tackle.
McSorley saying he wasn't down, that he was on top of the defender, so he took off and kept on running. But Joe Moorhead, the offensive coordinator for Penn State, thought that this was going to be exactly what they needed. Get McSorley's feet involved in the run game. Yeah, he just got a little shot, and Barkley's going to just bow down for a little bit.
Still out there, though.
No, he's a tough kid.
On 2nd and 7. McSorley, nobody open. Buying time for the end zone. A jump ball for Barkley, and it's incomplete. Dangerous pass by Trace McSorley.
dangerous, but smart. So he threw it where either Barkley can get it or it goes out of bounds. He had Barkley on the wheel route down the left sideline. Barkley's in the back of the end zone. So see how Barkley's trying to give himself some room to the back of the end zone? That was smart. And then look where the ball's put. Just out of the reach of Barkley's hands, but it's either incomplete or it's a 6.
3rd down and 7. 10th play of the drive. 2 for 5 today on 3rd down for Penn State. Play clock at 3.
Comes the blitz.
Barkley will run into it. Barkley with a lane. Flag is down. Touchdown, Barkley.
He's coming back.
Holding. Offense number 52. 10 yards from the previous spot. Repeat 3rd down.
That's the redshirt freshman Ryan Bates called for the hold.
Yeah, the left guard, number 52, you're going to see him right here. And so they're going to try to get Barkley out into space. Going to bring back Gesicki, and then that's where they call the hold on Braglio. Anytime you see a defender who can't move from inside out, that'll raise a little suspicion. Now you have a big 3rd down here for Maryland. They just got to, again, hold it to a field goal attempt.
3rd and 17. Mark Allen in at running back.
Keep your eyes also on McSorley's feet. That's been a factor.
Timeout's going to be used
timeout.
by Penn State. We'll step aside as well. 10-7 Penn State. A big 3rd down to come. Building a program, every moment is a teaching moment.
Yeah, and so this is a good teaching moment right here. So first you admonish, and then you encourage. And so you tell them what you did wrong, and now you get them back there ready to go.
The penalty on Bates has set up a 3rd and 17 for Penn State.
It's well done by Franklin.
Tough snap to handle. McSorley with pressure coming for the end zone. There's a flag. Gesicki trying to climb over Darnell Savage to get that football.
Savage was in a good position. I want to see this one slow because he's in a trail spot.
Pass interference. Defense number 26. 15 yards from the previous spot. Automatic 1st down.
He was trying not to hug him, but he looks apparently like a very huggable guy. No, he was in very good defensive position. He just had to get his eyes turned back to defend that thing, and they're going to call that arm kind of on the waist every time.
So 1st down and goal inside the 10.
Tell you this, they've had good coverage. They need to tighten it on Gesicki. Gesicki's been a major player here in the 1st half.
He's getting a breather right now. Tom Pancoast in at tight end. 1st down and goal at the 9. McSorley on the keep. McSorley into the end zone for the touchdown.
McSorley should thank a couple of guys, and one of them is Bates up front, who did a nice job after he was admonished and encouraged. And then also Barkley drew the defense out and allowed that space to be created inside.
Tyler Davis for the extra point. And a 17-7 lead for Penn State with 6:06 remaining in the 1st half.
Trace McSorley's feet they've been deadly here in the 1st half. The plan was to let him use it. And then when you get a nice block by your freshman guard, you're off and running.
Maryland's given up more points in this 1st half than they have in any 1st half combined this season. They'd only given up 14 all 1st half in 4 games, 17 today, and a big reason is because of Trace McSorley. We told you at the top of the broadcast he was going to be using his legs more. Designed by Joe Moorhead and James Franklin, 95 yards rushing in the 1st half.
That's good stuff.
Likely can provide a spark for Maryland with a good return here. Excellent coverage by Penn State. likely unable to get out. And there's the kicker, Joey Julius, getting tossed to the sideline by Brooks, or rather by Lane. DeAndre Lane with the shove to the sideline.
Kevin, we go back, you can see Joey Julius and all this stuff going on, but we go back to that touchdown. The thing that really feels good inside was that freshman guard, Bates, and then getting himself a big block on that thing. And now here's Joey Julius, who's really, he's excited about running down on kickoff, so he goes and does this. And there's been kind of a cult following because he's not afraid to throw himself in, and really, the opponents haven't been afraid to throw him around.
On first down, looking for running room up the middle, and Ty Johnson finds none. Solid work by Parker Cothran up front.
Officials timeout for an injured player.
It is Maurice Shelton, the right guard, who is down for Maryland.
Yeah, who was a walk-on. He's an electrical engineer. This guy did a lot of work to get himself into this position. You know, Maryland starts 3 walk-ons, and they've now been scholarship, and Shelton's one of them.
Today's United States Marine Corps leader of the game, Penn State's Garrett Sickles. We've seen a sack already from Sickles today. He's the president and director of operations for Penn State's Uplifting Athletes, a nonprofit organization that raises money for rare disease research. And they do some unbelievable work here on campus in State College, raising money all over campus. And Sickles has done a terrific job today.
Yeah, he's been what they've needed him to be. It's kind of been a slow start for Sickles this season, but today he's having his way with that left tackle.
Terrence Davis, a freshman, in at right guard. Hills gonna scramble. Hills gets the corner, and then a big hit leveled by Grant Haley on the sideline.
And that's one that Hills can avoid. He shouldn't do that. Yeah, he's already got a little hitch in his get along after that first injury. But watch him at the end. Just get out of bounds. He doesn't have to lower his head and try to do all that. Just get out of bounds. Sets up this third down, and this is critical right here. They need to keep this drive going.
Third down and 3. 2 for 4 today on third down. A block on the edge for Morgan, but Morgan going nowhere. John Reed undercut him on the corner at the 22.
Again, nice read by Reed and a sure tackle. That's exactly what the Penn State defense needed and what Maryland couldn't afford. They needed to generate a little bit more, get some first downs. That's a nice job of good tackle of coming up nice and low, and he's happy about it.
DeAndre Tompkins with a fair catch called and made at the 41-yard line. If you don't have BTN to go yet, you're missing out on a lot of stuff because there's all new features on it. Of course, you can watch live games. You'll get daily exclusive video from BTN, but there's so much more. You've just got to make sure you've got it fully updated on your phone right now. If you don't have it, go to the App Store, go to Google Play, download it, and make sure you've got the all-new BTN to go app. 17-7, Penn State, 4:29 remaining in this first half. Trace McSorley looking for more to add to that 10-point lead. Barkley on first down. Twisting and hanging on for dear life is Melvin Kane. Finally able to wrestle Barkley down at the 42. Even his 1-yard runs are fun to watch.
Yeah, he's just special. And now you add in Trace McSorley's feet, and that's a big plus for what Penn State's trying to get done.
the middle, and that's incomplete. That rush coming from Kingsley Opara threw that whole play off, and now third down.
And a smart play, just getting rid of the ball by McSorley, live for another down. Opara has a nice rush to the inside, force it, and puts Penn State in this third and long, which goes advantage Maryland with this secondary. Again, Gesicki, he's been deadly here in the first half. Let's see if they don't go to him. He's up top, third guy in. There he is. They're going to have to bounce his coverage out a little bit, or cover him from inside out, and they do.
Blitz coming, and McSorley's got to throw it away. The pressure right up the middle from Jermaine Carter, and there's the flag for grounding.
That should be grounding. It was not outside the pocket. There's no receiver there. Excellent coverage on top of that, so they dropped the flag.
Intentional grounding. Offense number 9. Quarterback was in the tackle box, and there's no eligible receiver in the area. Lost it down at the spot of the foul. Fourth down.
DJ Durkin saying, where's the flag?
Yeah, he got it, and he can ask for a lot of things. They normally don't give them to you. In that particular instance, they did. Nicely done by Maryland. Now they've got to get, the first thing they have to do is get that first down of the series.
Likely. Back deep. Pressure up the middle, and it's blocked. The punt is blocked, and it's recovered at the 15-yard line. Jermaine Carter with the block and the recovery. Looks like Isaiah Davis comes up with it.
They came full bore inside. That was really well done. Great effort. Watch them attack the inside 3. And they're going to go through it. And Carter, because they attacked the inside, it shortened the corner. And Carter was able to get in there, make that block. And that's a huge play that Maryland has to capitalize on right here.
At the 15-yard line, Carter, who provided the pressure on the previous play that resulted in the intentional grounding, comes up to block the punt. From the 15 on first down, Hill has pressure, comes and he's sacked. The ball is out, loose on the turf at the 20-yard line, and Penn State says they have it, and they do. Farmer with the sack to jar it loose. Recovered by Penn State, and the Nittany Lions get it right back on the turnover.
That's on Perry Hills. He's got to be aware of coverage, and he's got to be aware on his non-throwing side. He's going to come. Here comes Farmer. He's got to know. He's looking right at it with the play action, and he gets his eyes back on top. You've got to feel that. Penn State with a nice call here. This is a nice defensive call. And Farmer was all over it. And DJ Durkin not very pleased. He wants to eat that microphone.
I don't know that will get the ball back for his team.
No, but they're pretty tasty. I don't know if you've ever had one.
I've not.
That's a huge play.
Tough snap to handle. Barkley in trouble in the backfield, and he'll lose yardage. Roman Braglio, after that timing, got all thrown off by the snap. A loss of 2. Remember, Maryland won the toss, elected to defer, so they're going to have the football to start the second half, which makes that defensive stop by Penn State all the bigger.
That's a great call by Brent Pry. Bringing him off the edge.
On 2nd and 12, Barkley again. Trying to get past Carter, and Jermaine Carter with the tackle at the 22.
Jermaine Carter's been really active here in this first half. Had a couple of big plays. They're going to try to say he was out of bounds, but he wasn't. He started that hit inbounds before they went out. So he starts to tackle inbounds, and there's nothing you can... What he's talking about, the little bit of a face mask there? Oh, and a horse collar. Horse collar.
I don't believe it was. Third down and 8 at the 22. Pressure coming. McSorley is sacked. They brought the pressure from Darnell Savage Jr.
tit for tat. They came Koa Farmer. They're going to come back with Savage. Same thing on the backside. We got to play her down.
For an injured player.
It's Andrew Nelson, the right tackle.
They are thin at the tackle spots. You can see him on the right side, number 26. He's just going to beat man. And it's just pure speed to the edge.
And it was the sack that drove McSorley into Nelson. Andrew Nelson being 10-2 will step aside for 30 seconds. Still looking at the right leg of Andrew Nelson, the junior out of Hershey, Pennsylvania, the right tackle. 8 starts a year ago on both tackle positions. He split back and forth over the last couple of years. He's been on the right side this year and got the worst of that sack of Trace McSorley, who, as he was sacked, fell into the leg of Andrew Nelson, who was blocking on the other side. Coming up at halftime, Rick, Stanley, and Howard have all the scores and highlights from today's Big Ten action coming up on the Buffalo Wild Wings halftime report.
That's a nice job by James Franklin out there.
Never like to see the head coach on the field holding one of his players' hands as the cart makes its way onto the field here at Penn State. You mentioned, Matt, a position that is very thin for Penn State, this tackle position along the offensive line. It's an offensive line that for the most part today has done a very good job, certainly in the run game, opening holes for these runners, both Barkley and Allen at running back and McSorley at quarterback. As the team comes out to wish Andrew Nelson well. A team at Penn State that has been all too familiar with the injury bug this year. McSorley, we talked about the line doing the job opening holes for McSorley and company. This is scramble, but he's called his own number on several designed runs today as well, closing in on 100 yards rushing.
Well, he's been using his eyes exceptionally well, and he knows if you're going to play him a certain way, then he's going to take advantage of it. That right there is a called play, and he has the option to hand it off or take off and run. And today, McSorley has decided very well, made good decisions.
14 carries for Trace McSorley. It is 4th down. That sack forcing the punt team on for Penn State as Nelson makes his way to the locker room.
He will be missed. That's the guy who can calm everybody down, especially with a young offensive line.
30-second charge timeout. Maryland, they're first.
So Maryland will take the timeout now with 2:03 remaining in this first half. Maryland with 2 timeouts remaining and 2:03 to work with. As Nelson makes his way inside, will step aside in State College. Down the punt, a short one, likely comes up down the sidelines and gets waylaid. Nick Scott blasting Will Likely, and tempers will flare.
The officials doing a really good job right there of getting everybody out of there. Just keep them all away. And it was a legitimate hit, and he was trying to take a shot, take a chance on that sideline with the bounce to try to sneak one through. wasn't so much the hit, it was that sudden stop.
And the smack that accompanied it. Watch it in real time once more.
Yeah,
It's even painful on a replay.
That's perfectly legit right there. You're inbounds. And that's, hey, Will Likely took that ball knowing that's a possibility. And so he's ready, fully protected himself, gets his pads down. That's just a nice hit.
By the way, Will Likely jumped right back up and headed to the bench.
He's a tough guy. That guy's a mucker. He's from down in Belle Glade, Florida. They call it the muck. And that guy, there's a lot of great players that have come out of there. And the one thing they all have in common is great toughness.
And he took a risk there, and he got some extra yardage. So Maryland starts at the 37 of Penn State as a result of his return. First down carry for Harrison, and Harrison breaking tackles. A first down. Another tackle broken. Harrison still on the run to the 11.
That was an awesome run. Did you see him with the great bounce and the spin moves inside? That's not easy to do, people. This is just pure talent and skill. Watch him get out of that one. Great bounce. Now they're going to take on another one on the edge. Comes that down inside. That's really impressive.
26 yards for Lorenzo Harrison. From the 11, first down. Hills on the keep. And Hills down to the 7-yard line. Malik Golden on the tackle with 1:23 remaining in the first half.
It's a good first down play.
Hills is hurt.
He's been playing
Officials
on
timeout
something
for
hurt.
an injured player.
They can't afford to lose him. His decision-making has been very, very good this year.
A true freshman, Tyrell Pigram. Now, that's the only time we'll call him Tyrell, because coaching staff said, look, you call him Tyrell, nobody's going to know who you're talking about.
We are beyond 1 minute.
See what we can see here with the injury. Remember, his right leg hurt earlier.
I would submit he was hurt before. And he's been playing through it because he's such a tough kid.
Mention his backup. They call him Piggy. Everybody calls him Piggy. So we will as well. Freshman out of Pinson, Alabama, who was the Alabama Player of the Year last year at Clay Chalkville High School. But mom and dad looking on with great concern here in State College.
Well, I told you about Perry Hills being a Pennsylvania State Wrestling Champion. He was undefeated his senior year. He's got great toughness. He was coached by an outstanding wrestler, Sonny Abe, who was his high school coach, who I think now is at Allegheny. But this kid, you can't say enough about his toughness, his mental toughness, his approach to the game, the kind of leadership he brings to this offense. And he was already playing with some injury. And he's gonna, sometimes you can beat it and sometimes it beats you.
DJ Durkin out. Check on his quarterback.
Pittsburgh Central Catholic player in Pittsburgh.
So now the second trip into the red zone for Maryland, and if they're to cash in, Piggy's going to be the guy to lead him. The freshman from Alabama. 6 of 12 this year, 76 yards and a touchdown. He's also run for 88 yards and 2 scores.
So you stack the box right here. You're going to trust his feet before his arm.
2nd and 6 from the 7. Pigram on the keep. Pigram fighting for the goal line touchdown. A little shot of confidence for the freshman.
That was really well done, Mr. Piggy. That was really well done. Let's see if he's in before anything touches. He's aware of where he's at. There's the ball. That's 6. Really, really well done by Pigram. See if there's any knees down. He's on top. Ball's extended. That's 6. That's a huge score for this Maryland team.
And what a lift. Pigram right off the bench and into the end zone for the touchdown. He had 62 touchdowns in his senior year of high school.
It's confirmed.
It's been confirmed. We saw it as well. He had 44 passing touchdowns and 18 rushing touchdowns in his final high school season. And Green's extra point brings Maryland within 3. 52 seconds remaining as Hills goes to the locker room. A little extra time to rest for Perry Hills. A 3-point ball game as we step aside for 30 seconds.
Penn State 17, Maryland 14. 52 seconds remaining in the first half. Maryland able to cash in thanks to Piggy. The young freshman Piggy Pigram getting into the end zone for 6.
That little piggy went home. I prefer the roast beef. I don't know about you.
52 seconds to go as Penn State from the 6-yard line. Miles Sanders. And Sanders breaks a tackle. Sanders with a lane. Can he get to the edge? Sanders down at the 30-yard line. 41 seconds remaining and 2 timeouts. How aggressive did that extra 10 yards mean Penn State will change their strategy, if at all, here?
I would say yes right here. With 2 timeouts, the most important thing is the first down. If you get the first down and you get to like the 45-yard line, you only need yourself maybe 25 yards and you can take a kick. So let's see what happens here in first down. If they can convert a first, they'll stop the clock and then you can start doing your hurry-up stuff.
Barkley up the middle. Barkley into the secondary. Trip down to the 45.
There you are. So now you're playing for 3 right here. You don't have to try to get anything. All you have to try to do is pick up another 15 to 20 yards.
25-yard pickup there. Clock running. 30 seconds and counting. Barkley again. And Barkley going nowhere. Roman Braglio with the timeout used. 1 of 2 remaining.
30-second charge timeout, Penn State. Their second.
That surprised me as it gets down to the 20-second range. You know, that's where you start to throw, especially Gesicki starts to become a factor, and really Barkley out of the backfield. Now they're going to counter by playing some tight coverage. That's okay. What that does then, you really don't want Trace McSorley. At this point, McSorley's feet can become a factor in 23 seconds, but you want to try to keep it off that. So throw the ball away, live for another down, you're in good shape.
Middle of the field still open with that timeout, right?
Absolutely. Especially in college football where it stops automatically.
23 seconds and 1 timeout to work with for Penn State, up by 3. Barkley over 100 yards in this first half. 103 on 18 carries.
Looks like they're going to rush 3. Drop 8.
Gesicki and Godwin are to the top of your screen with Hamilton and Tompkins to the bottom.
Not as strong pressure. 1 free look.
3 on the play clock. It's Barkley again. Saquon Barkley with a big opening. Saquon Barkley taking it all the way for the touchdown.
Kevin, you just hand it to that former Whitehall Zephyr and let him run to the end zone. That's the nice game plan. They got caught with a little bit of a stunt, and Barkley made them pay.
70 yards in 26 seconds. The 45-yard touchdown by Barkley. And Penn State, what an answer they have as the Nittany Lions regain the 10-point lead, 24-14 with 15 seconds until halftime.
So this is what Barkley was looking at. is looking at Jermaine Carter, number 23. You're going to see him in the middle of your screen. Now see how wide everybody is inside. He's got to beat Carter, 23. Carter does him a favor. He tries to jump around, and by jumping around, he's able to take that gap and then a move on Will Likely, and it's 6 quick. You can't give Barkley space. Once he gets this, you're dead. It's as good as there is in this country right there.
He was held to 65 yards against Maryland a year ago. 148 in the first half. And James Franklin says one more.
They were waiting for Barkley to have that breakout. Everybody has been keying on him. And I got to tell you right now, this is Joe Moorhead's plan. We talked to Joe Moorhead, and he said he wanted to get Trace McSorley's feet more involved, that he became a factor. Once that factored in, you start adding numbers. It takes one out of the box for Saquon Barkley, and then it allows him to do what he can do.
And McSorley's gained 95 yards running the football. He's lost 22 on sacks, but he's had a good day running so far. Lane from the 20-yard line, and DeAndre Lane stopped shy of the 25. Tackled by Nick Scott, who had that big hit on Will Likely on the sidelines. And now with 10 seconds to go, you're getting the football to start the second half, and you've got your backup quarterback on the field. Maryland's taking a knee and going in, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Live for another down. And look, you're not in bad shape. Yeah, 2 scores down, no big deal. You go back in, you get the ball, you get that first down. That first series of the half is the most important series.
Caleb Rowe in at quarterback to take the knee. And Rowe will send us to halftime here in State College. A 3-point game until Saquon Barkley took over on the final drive. 70 yards for Penn State in 3 plays to put 7 more on the board and take a 10-point lead over Maryland into the locker room. What a finish to that first half. Maryland able to close back in on a big room touchdown, and then Penn State with the quick response. And Saquon Barkley with 148 yards pacing Penn State here in the first half. 24-14. Penn State with the advantage. We'll head to Chicago and join our boys in the studio when we return.
TN is brought to you by Auto Owners Insurance, the no-problem people. Find your agent at AutoOwners.com. And by TireRack.com. Find, deliver, install smarter. Jimmy Frisbee and Leanne Liu, the homecoming king and queen for 2016. Penn State making their way out with a 24-14 lead.
What hasn't been a factor? What hasn't been a factor in this first half was the depletion of the linebacking core. Penn State's defense has held up in that front 7 pretty well here in the first half.
And the run game has been big today for the Nittany Lions. And this has been a good combination. The McSorley-Barkley combination and the zone read has been a big part of it.
Yeah, and so you have to reach somebody. So his eyes are right here on Jermaine Carter on the outside. So they're going to block everybody down. They're going to pull McGovern out and seal this. But I want you to watch Barkley and how he's going to influence that defender. See how he skirts all the way out? That's what McSorley's listening to. So he is eyeballed right here. He pulls him to the outside. McSorley can get to the inside, and it's a big play. That has worked to perfection. The other piece that Joe Moorhead, the offensive coordinator, has done is he's taken Gesicki and he's gotten him outside the box, which eliminates another number inside the box, makes it a little easier to read, and McSorley, 95 yards.
So McSorley and Barkley both so effective in the run game. You saw a moment ago Perry Hill's back out on the field
with his helmet as we check in with Lisa Byington.
Yeah, well, Kevin, Perry Hills, as I was observing, was really the only quarterback who was actually not warming up with Maryland. I just spoke to DJ Durkin trying to get confirmation from him, and literally out of his mouth, he said, it is up to Perry Hills if he wants to play the rest of the game. I said, has he gotten cleared? And then he kind of hesitated and said, well, we're still waiting on word on that. My observation before they took him to the tunnel, it looked like an upper body injury that they wanted to look at him a little bit more extensively to take the pads off and examine the upper body on Perry Hills.
All right, Lisa, thank you very much. And they did take him in, 51 seconds remaining. But with the helmet on, that would at least indicate, Matt, that he's going to get back on the field, wouldn't it?
He's a wrestler. He's a wrestler. He's a fighter.
Well, they don't wear helmets.
They don't. If they didn't mandate it, he wouldn't. No, I would expect to see Perry Hills.
Second half is underway. The kickoff by Julius is going to go out of bounds. Maryland will have good field position to start down 10. And now a flag at the end as Julius gets pounded at the end of the play for no reason.
That's their secret weapon on kickoffs.
Wow.
There he is, just jogging along. Now he does the Julius flop. That's kind of a floppage right there.
But what is Isaiah Davis doing?
Yeah, that's not smart. But Joey Julius, now he's got a little reputation going out there. So now he's not doing anything. So he's trying.
2 fouls on the play.
This should be called.
Kick out of bounds by the kicking team. After the play was over, flagrant personal foul. Kick receiving team number 22. By rule, number 22 is disqualified. That will be half the distance from the free kick spot. First down.
Costly for so many reasons. Not only in yardage, but he's out of the game.
Kevin, one last thing on Perry Hills. You, as a head coach, you have to make the right decision for your team. Is he the best option? Are we putting him in danger? All those things have to be factored in.
A free kick out of bounds. The unsportsmanlike conduct will be assessed on the kickoff.
Now, see, this is a smart call. You're going to re-kick the kick out of bounds. That was going to be half the distance. As we welcome Dick Honig from our BTN studios to help us sort this one out. So Davis, Dick, is ejected from the game, and now Maryland has elected to assess the penalty on the kick, so they're going to get a chance to have at least decent field position after this penalty.
Yeah, it looks like what they've called is a flagrant unsportsmanlike foul. It is not targeting, I don't believe. I don't think he announced that. But it's a flagrant foul and a hit on a person who is clearly out of the play. And it's just to control the ball game.
And it's the right call, Vic. I mean, it was clear.
It was absolutely clear the right call.
Yeah. Now, just so you know, for your background out there, you people, so Joey Julius has kind of garnered a little reputation of running down there and making tackles. And so all eyes have been on him, including when you're watching the tape of the opposing team. And so that little reputation is why he got the hit, and that's why he's ejected.
So Joey Julius will kick off, likely is back deep. So we're going to be half the distance to the goal line, assuming this is a touchback. Maryland will actually get a little bit better field position than they would have had they kept it the way it was, and that will go well through the end zone for the touchback, so out to the 25-yard line. And Maryland to work first down and 10. And it looks like, from a quarterback standpoint, Pigram is going to come out first with Maryland. There's Hills, but Pigram's in the huddle. We've not had a second tick off in this third quarter, and already it feels like a lot has happened. Johnson reversing his field. Johnson, a lot of running to get 2 yards. Allen and Golden combined on the stop, and it's second down.
See Brandon Smith, number 47, in there. And he went out just a week ago, and he's back in for 47 in the middle. He's the middle linebacker. And so just the walk-on, but a very important piece of where this defense is right now.
On second down, and you mentioned Brandon Smith. He was in there with Evan Schwan to make the stop. We'll see Brandon Smith in there in weeks to come. Penn State fans are going to see Jarvis Miller in at linebacker. He was just moved to linebacker this week to help shore up a position that's been hammered by injuries.
Yeah, big third down right here for Maryland and Penn State. Maryland's got to get this first down. They have to find a way to be able to get this 7 yards. And it's going to be on Pigram's arms and possibly feet.
Pigram is 6 for 12 this year in the passing game. Third down, and a timeout or a flag. Flag has been thrown, and it's motion.
Prior to the snap, false start. Offense number 55. Still third down.
Yeah, and that's Gray, 55, who's in on that left side. But keep in mind, another quarterback, new cadence. And sometimes you're not used to that cadence. And Sickles has been giving that left tackle problems all game long.
Third down and 12. Pigram on the roll. Short toss, but well short of the first down. Morgan gets to the 31-yard line. 4 yards short, and the punt team comes on for Maryland.
So well played defensively by Penn State. They had the zone. They stayed back, let them throw underneath, and you go make the tackle and get off the field.
Wade Lease, the freshman from Australia. One of the oldest freshmen in the country at 28 years old. And Lease, with a fair catch signaled by DeAndre Tompkins, he'll make it near the 24-yard line. And now Penn State back to work on offense, and that ground game is so effective in the first half. We've talked a lot about what's made that effective. What can Maryland do to try to stem that ground game for Penn State?
Yeah, the whole thing. See, there's an old adage in offensive football. If you can't block them, you read them. And so that's exactly what's going on right now. They are determining who they want to read. So it's not the same guy all the time. So defensively, what you really have to do is you have to really have good discipline inside.
Barkley on first down. And Barkley pounced on at the 27-yard line by Jesse Annabonum.
And that's how you want to play that right there. Play nice and solid between the tackles, and then you have to have somebody, an overhang player, who's going to be able to handle McSorley's feet. That will be the key.
Second down and 7 for Penn State. Sophomore Trace McSorley. The give to Barkley again. Slithers through an opening. Barkley with a first down. Saquon Barkley still fighting. Still churning and down at the 40-yard line. 13 hard yards for Saquon Barkley. Savage and Woods on the stop.
So this is the split. This is offset. It's going to be Gesicki coming down, and he's going to be the guy, and Barkley's going to split right in between those two. They've been running this the last few weeks with not a lot of success. This time with success.
From the 40, first down, Barkley again. McSorley ran a long time before he got that ball into the hands of Barkley. 2-yard gain.
You know, that's called the mesh point, Kevin, and it's kind of a almost undescribable kind of thing, because that quarterback has the ball and he's giving it to the running back, and the only way it differs is when the quarterback lets it go. So both have to have control of it.
Second down and 8 at the 42. Four-man rush. McSorley to the air. Off the hands of Godwin and incomplete.
Yeah, I want to show you that mesh point and how it's kind of complex, because you're going to give it to the running back. And the running back, he wants it. And McSorley may want to pull that. In this particular instance, Barkley didn't want to give it up. So he just took it, and now he'll have 3rd and long.
You see at the end, McSorley for a good step or two had just one hand on the ball.
Exactly.
Even if he wants it back, he's not getting it at that point. 3rd down and 8 at the 42.
You got to trust each other.
You and I, or the guys on the field?
Oh, I'd never trust you.
Okay.
You know that.
Pressure coming. McSorley flushed. He can run. McSorley with a first down.
Nicely blocked by Goodwin on the outside, but the reason that happens is they're in man coverage. Man-to-man. And so all the defenders' backs are to you. Once you get past that first level, McSorley's off to the races, and he's over 100 for the day. Now watch Goodwin on the top of your screen, number 12. See, he stays with it. Well done.
From the 48 on first down, here's Barkley again. And a Bonham grabs him at the 46, and Barkley takes him to the 44. Good pickup on the play of 4 yards for Saquon Barkley, who needs a breather. Saquon Barkley now over 150 yards on the afternoon. McSorley's over the mark gained as far as 100 yards, but he's lost yardage on sacks, so officially won't have a 100-yard day yet. McSorley to the air on 2nd down. The sideline finds Tompkins, and Tompkins has the first down to the Maryland 37-yard line. J.C. Jackson on the stop.
Jackson had good coverage, and so Tompkins did the right thing. He came back to the ball. So you're going to have coverage, that's fine. Now I'm going to come back in the ball, and now I'm going to get this first down. I think Joe Moorhead's calling a heck of a game here today.
Mark Allen, the running back. 3 receivers. To McSorley's right. That'll be the top of your screen. The 8th play of the drive. On first down, a little sprint out, and Allen can't pull that one in. 2nd down. And Saquon Barkley's breather is over. Last week, Trace McSorley, 408 yards total offense. The 3rd most for any quarterback in Penn State history in the win over Minnesota. What a big win that was for Penn State.
He made a clutch run at the end of that game to send it into overtime.
Up 10 on unbeaten Maryland here early 3rd quarter. Second down and 10. Barkley in trouble. And Barkley going to lose yardage. Back at the 40-yard line where Roman Braglio is waiting for him. A loss of 3.
Okay, so this is where Penn State had not been doing well up to this game. Today, on 3rd down, they've been pretty darn good. And so right now, Maryland's got to be able to get a stop right here. Get the ball back, and it's a win.
3 for 9 on 3rd, and you'll say, well, 33% is not great, but look where they've been all year.
Yeah, but they've got to keep their eyes on McSorley's feet. Looks like they're going that 2 shell with man under again. That means you've got to account for McSorley.
Only Arkansas State came into the weekend worse on 3rd down than Penn State in all of college football. 3rd and 13, there goes McSorley on the run.
There it is.
Field opens up. McSorley diving, and he has the first down, it would appear. Just across the 27-yard line, Savage with the tackle, and just as you called it, Matt Millen, Trace McSorley's feet hit the first.
Yeah, but you want to know, Barkley is the key to the whole thing, because they do have somebody accounting for McSorley's feet, and it's Jermaine Carter, but Barkley got the block. Now, wasn't a devastating block, it was an effective block, and it's able to get him sick.
The pitch to Barkley. Barkley hurdles Will Likely, and Barkley with a first down. The spin caps it at the 15.
Who does this stuff? Where do you see this stuff? Hey, football fans, enjoy this. This is just freaky stuff.
Timeout for an injured player.
Oh, man. Sometimes I think they watch too many video games and think they can do it.
But he can.
But he can. He's just a freak, man. That is awesome.
That's a run you'll see at the end of the year. You know, when they're going through the all-conference teams and they say, first team All-Big Ten, Saquon Barkley, that's the run you'll see.
You're going to see that all weekend long, too.
Well, you'll see it as a BTN standout. There's an injured Maryland player, Roman Braglio, down briefly at the end of the play. DJ Durkin over to make sure he's okay. I think you can safely say this is a BTN standout play right here.
Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful. That's just a thing of beauty. You know, sometimes you just watch a guy and it's almost a work of art, really, honestly. And Steve Young used to say that. Sometimes you'd see guys and it's just kind of artful. That's what you just got out of Saquon Barkley. Appreciate it while you can. 182 yards, 7. And this is what Penn State fans were expecting, and now he's delivering.
And by the way, he gets better in the fourth quarter in his career. He averages almost 8 yards per carry. From the 15 on first down. Barkley again. Saquon Barkley, a yawner of 4 yards, and he may fumble the football at the end of the play, and he did, and Maryland comes up with it, Likely with the football.
The ruling on the field.
And Maryland gets a huge turnover.
Recovered by Maryland for a first down.
So Barkley goes from the star to the close of the show as he fumbles this one, knocked out, and Likely recovers it.
And that's why you keep on playing. Let's see when it comes out. Oh, Will Likely, that is just tremendous job of Likely getting on it and getting it out. It's kind of hard to see in that massive humanity.
The only thing you could see is Likely's arm pull. See if we can see it here.
Let's watch.
Watch Likely's arm yank it right there.
Yeah, so he's knocked down. So keep in mind, the call on the field is a fumble. They'll have to prove that it wasn't that call on the field.
The ruling on the field was a fumble recovered by Maryland. That ruling is under further review.
So they're going to look at this one again, but based on the looks we saw, I don't know that I see indisputable video evidence to overturn the ruling on the field. As we step aside for a quick timeout, one more look. Do you see anything that would overturn a call on the field?
It's Will Likely who made a huge play, and the call was confirmed. And watch the awareness of Likely, number 4. You can see him right here. And what he's going to do, get his hand in and not quit on the play, and then yank it out. You never know if he's down or not, but you take the chance. He did just that and made a huge play for this Maryland team.
It forms a 12-play, 65-yard drive that looked very much like it was ticketed for the end zone. And instead, Maryland gets the stop. And now Pigram and the offense for the Terps go back to work. Pigram on the keep on first down, and Pigram a yard to the 12. You've got a young quarterback, a true freshman in after the injury to Perry Hills, who stays on the sideline.
So Penn State's really playing for the run here. So they are going to load this box up, and they're going to say, okay, Pigram, beat us with your arm if you can.
Second down. Pressure coming. They set up the screen. Caught by Jacobs. Jacobs with a first down and a little breathing room for Pigram out to the 26-yard line. Allen combining in there on the stop with Brandon Smith, and Lee-Vern Jacobs, just his second catch of the year.
That's a nice call there by Walt Bell, the offensive coordinator. So he knows, hey, you got a young guy, get in there, give a nice easy throw back underneath, get a little momentum going.
With the tight end in motion off the high snap, the give to Harrison. Harrison with a lane. Harrison has some speed. Harrison chugging down the sidelines and caught by Malik Golden inside the Penn State 30-yard line.
I like this Harrison kid. He has great running instincts. And watch how he's going to find the hole to the top side. And then I want you to watch something else. Yeah, watch Malik number 6. That is an excellent job of walking him down, using an angle, and making sure you get that. Barkley not too happy.
From the 30-yard line, first down. Nowhere to go. Nowhere at all for Edmonds. Ran right into the arms of Koa Farmer. And for a guy who was just converted from safety to linebacker, we've seen him make some good linebacker plays today.
Yeah, and for a guy like Koa Farmer, well, you're in the back end anyway. You're used to space, and you're used to one side. The middle backer is the hard guy, but Koa Farmer has been on blitzes. He understands how to create leverage, and he did it well right there.
Second and 13 at the 33. They run into the blitz, and tricked up is Harrison by Brandon Smith down to the 31-yard line. 2-yard pickup.
Smith makes a tackle. Koa Farmer makes the play. Farmer comes on a little bit of blitz and forces everything back inside. Smith is able to make it, and it sets up this 3rd and down. It's a nice series here for Cole Farmer.
Tough 3rd and 11 here for a freshman quarterback who didn't take all the snaps this week.
Right, and so you don't want to play off right now. You might, if you do, it's maybe a 5-yard cushion, but he's gonna try to make this pass a shorter passing game. They're only 1 out of 3 on 3rd down conversions today, 2 out of 6. So you're batting 33%.
Adam Green's career long at Maryland from a field goal standpoint, 44 last year. 3rd and 11. Fake the swing. Pigram on the run. Gets pounded. Pigram still up, and he fights down to the 22. He's 2 yards short of the first. Marcus Allen with the big stick. And how about Pigram? He just rolled off the hit and kept going.
This is just good football. Watch Marcus Allen running the lane. Pigram not phased at all. I'll take your hit, and I got more. He takes it on the chin with a spin, stays on top of the defender, and gets even more. That's really well done. You got to go for it here. You got to grab some momentum back right here.
4th down and 2.
Little triangle action here.
On 4th down, Pigram will keep, but this one stopped. A timeout first.
Charge timeout, Maryland.
The play clock was winding down. We'll take the timeout with them. Maryland going for it on 4th and 2.
Yeah. Keep your eyes right down here. See that coach right down there? He's the guy who makes this call timeout. Now, only the head coach can make that call. And so it was right at that last snap, right before, and they were able to get the call. He has a dark hat on, so it kind of blended in.
And you see the game clock. Somehow 4 seconds were lost in that transfer. 4th down and 2. On the sweep. Nowhere to go. Buried is Jake Funk. Marcus Allen on the tackle. And Penn State turns Maryland away.
But Grant Haley made the play. Marcus Allen made the tackle. Grant Haley made the play. Haley comes up, and he takes his shot, number 15. You're going to watch him. He's the corner. He's going to come up, and he takes a shot and flattens this thing out. Watch this right here. He does a great job right there. That flattens it and gets it deeper, and that allows Marcus Allen to be able to make the tackle. Yeah, terrific play by Grant Haley. These corners have played pretty well here today, both in the pass and the run game.
On 1st down, McSorley looking for the sidelines. The catch made by Tompkins. Tackled by Alvin Hill as he pulled it in. And it'll bring up 2nd down.
Yeah, DeAndre Tompkins has been one of those guys who's just reliable. He runs pretty darn good routes. He's quicker than fast, but he understands how to get open. And he's one of the few on Penn State's receiving corps who understands that.
On 2nd down, Allen. And Allen going to have the first. Last effort got him to the 37-yard line. Shane Cockrell on the stop for Maryland. Next Saturday, the Spartans look to get a key conference win. They'll take on Northwestern in East Lansing. We'll be there with them. Coverage starts at 3:30 Eastern next Saturday on BTN and BTN to go.
The Spartans have to get that offensive line together.
First down at the 37-yard line. Barkley the carry. A stiff arm of Likely, who's still able to fight through the stiff arm and bring him down near the 42-yard line.
Two great competitors right there.
Yeah, good play on both ends.
Yep. I love to watch guys compete. You see Barkley refusing to go down and Likely refusing to quit. That's good stuff.
Caught as he tried to make his cut by You Can Do. burst into the backfield. Nice play by the senior for Maryland.
Yeah, that was a slow developing play. Ucandu got off the block well and sets up this third down. Again, back to Maryland. They have to get off. They have to get out of third down. Get out of here and you're in good shape.
Third down and 3.
Watch Gesicki. He's in the slot. Now they're tightening coverage.
Batted down. McSorley couldn't get it over the outstretched arms of Shane Cockrell, and it's 4th down.
Yeah, he's like, I used to be a quarterback. I know where that ball comes out. So he knocked that thing down and sets up this 4th down. That's really well played by Shane Cockrell. Now, he had the open receiver out there for a first down. Cockrell's able to knock it down. That's a big stop for this Maryland defense. Now they've got to do something with it.
So despite the fact that Barkley on that drive reached a career high in carries and yards, Penn State's going to have to punt it away. Barkley, 28 carries, 196 yards today. Likely from the 19-yard line, and Likely unable to get away. He'll lunge ahead to the 21 as Urban Charles makes a fine play in punt coverage. Maryland football down by 10 with 2:14 to go in the third. 24-14, third quarter, 2:14 remaining in the third. On today's installment of Dr. Pepper, tradition of the game, we flash back to the Penn State career of our colleague Matt Millen. You'll just count the penalties here. I mean, everything. Here's one. Absolutely a penalty right there. You can't do that to Jarvis Redwine and get away with it.
Hey, I was good at penalties, so I figured why not? Keep going.
Sponsored by Dr. Pepper. It's a tradition. The tradition of Matt Millen.
Yeah.
The pride of Whitehall High School. At least the former pride of Whitehall High School. I don't know if you're going to keep that designation anymore.
Saquon, he can have it.
From the 19 on first down. Pigram on the keep. Pigram a little room. And Pigram out across the 30 with a first down to the 31. Let's go to Mike Hall in Chicago. He's got a T-Mobile studio update.
Kevin, you thought the game at Wrigley last night was low scoring. Well, in Minneapolis, it's a low scoring one too. Shannon Brooks gets the first and thus far only touchdown of the game and gives the Gophers a 1-point lead in the fourth.
Mike Hall texting me last night to let me know he was at Wrigley. Very nice of him to share that information as we check in downstairs with Lisa Byington.
Kevin, Maryland still won't confirm for me for sure if Perry Hill's day is done, but he hasn't taken his helmet off this whole third quarter. However, he is not acting like he is going to go into the game anytime soon. He's been on the periphery with all the offensive huddles. The only thing I've observed is he's been shaking out his right arm, squeezing his right hand together. I did reach out to his mom, Lori, in the stands, and she has not been told any information about the school as well.
All right, Lisa, thanks very much. On the screen, minimal yardage to the 32 for DJ Moore. Penn State sniffs that one out pretty well. Now third and long.
Because what they know right now is Pigram's not throwing anything past 5 yards. So you're playing him in probably in a 10-yard box. So you got third and 9, so you're going to keep everything in front of you, but you have to check his feet, because that's where he can hurt you. Let his arm try to beat you.
Pigram, incomplete, looking for Jacobs, and it's fourth down. If you're joining us late, this is where Perry Hills got hurt late in that first half.
Yeah.
Hard to tell anything that happened there, although the hit on the shoulder.
Yeah.
And we've not seen him since. There are the numbers. You see him trying to loosen up that right arm.
That's going to feel a lot worse tomorrow morning.
Tompkins and Garrity back awaiting the punt from Lease. And a collision as DeAndre Tompkins with a fair catch at the 30-yard line. What if Garrity gets credit for a tackle on that play?
Well, you have to give a me call. And sometimes you both are yelling, you don't really hear. That's probably what happened.
Here comes Trace McSorley again. Penn State closing in on 400 yards total offense, 375. 300 of those 375 on the ground. No Saquon Barkley to start this drive. Mark Allen, the running back. He'll get the carry. And Allen unable to get away from Kingsley Opara. Good job of slipping the block by Opara. and bringing down Allen.
Yeah, Obara's he's been solid inside. He's a big, powerful guy. And so he's anchored in that interior. They really haven't got much of the interior, maybe occasionally on a counter, but now they put Saquon Barkley back inside, and he's looking to turn 200 yards.
He is just 4 yards shy. 28 carries, 196 yards for Barkley. Career highs in both. McSorley looking deep down the sideline, looking for Tompkins. He's got it, and Tompkins will take it to the house.
Told you a little earlier about DeAndre Tompkins, about understanding how to get open. He got on top of that defender and stayed there.
J.C. Jackson was the man trying to keep tabs on him. 70 yards later, he saw him celebrating the touchdown. Tyler Davis on for the extra point. And what a way to end the third quarter here at State College. Trace McSorley going up top. Penn State came in leading the Big Ten with plays of 30 yards or more. 70 into that category here for Tompkins, and McSorley from his seat likes what he sees. Penn State leads this game 31-14. They lead this series all time 36-2-1. But when the series resumed in 2014 when Maryland joined the Big Ten, it became a tight contest. Each of the last two games determined by 1 point. So this lopsided score a little bit unlikely, as Will Likely brings it from the goal line to the sideline and cannot reach the 15. Nick Scott with the tackles. We go back to the 70-yard touchdown for Penn State.
Well, DeAndre Tompkins is their best route runner, and he's also the most mature. He's the leader of that receiving core group. And here's what I'm talking about, a good route. And so once he gets Jackson on his hip, it's over. A little bit of arm back there, but Jackson falls and he takes it to the house. And he's got such good maturity about him. He understands his role in the team. He knows he wants to bring younger players along. He's really been a role model. I really like the kid.
We saw Hills on the sideline during that last series trying to loosen the right shoulder, but he is not going to be out there as of yet.
Kevin, we have had games that have been close. Didn't quite hear that. Did you hear that?
Penalty at the end of the run that will be tacked on. So Maryland's going to back up a bit.
We have had games that have been close until quarterbacks. The Colorado-Michigan game. And then once the quarterback went out, it changed the game. Here, same thing.
Penalty on Penn State. I should correct myself. That will be added on to the end of that run. So Maryland will get 5 yards to the 17.
You know, I want to be fair with Pigram. This is a tough spot for him to be stuck into. I mean, you have to be prepared and ready to go, but there's no game plan for him.
Another screen pass, trying to find a little room in space is Johnson. And Ty Johnson, who had 204 yards last week against Purdue. That screen pass gives him a couple of yards through the air, but he has 3 rushing yards today. Penn State's really bottled him up.
Well, you know who's really played kind of a pretty good game there is Brandon Smith, number 47. And he's made some nice tackles here today.
2nd down and 7. Here's Johnson again, and Johnson a yard to the 21.
Tackled by who?
I believe that was Brandon Smith.
Yeah, lucky guess. No, he's doing a nice job of reading things in there. Brent Pry, the defensive coordinator, was nervous about all that. He said they wanted to get him in there. He had good instincts. And so when you're not really sure about reading, you let instincts take over. And his 10 tackles have proved him right.
3rd down and 6. Pigram under duress on the run. Pigram has the 1st down. You can see what Maryland coaches like about the potential of Pigram. This guy can escape. He's got some good presence. Just a true freshman.
Yeah, and so what he has to be able to do, they have to develop that passing side to him. And then a lot of that can be game planning as well. Like I said, it's a tough spot to put the kid in without game planning with his skill set.
On first down, he'll air it deep down the sideline looking for DJ Moore, and it's knocked away by John Reed.
John Reed with good defense. Really good defense. DJ Moore they were running stride for stride. That's just a good football play. When he looks, you look. That was well done by Reed. See how he was tracking him? And when Moore turned his head, that's when Reed looked. And that's when he was able to get a piece of the ball.
2nd and 10 at the 29. Motion by the tight end Hayward. On 2nd down. Good run over the right side by Edmonds. And Edmonds gets 9 to the 38-yard line. Trey Edmonds, whose dad Farrell Edmonds was a tight end both at Maryland and then for several years in the National Football League.
Trey, you can see the power of Trey Edmonds right there. How he finished that run. And that's what they're going to need right now on this 3rd down. They're going to need some power to be able to... Power. I was looking for the right word. Didn't want to be obtuse.
We'll see if they get the power to power here on 3rd and 1. And Goins just had enough to the 40-yard line. Brandon Smith in there to help upend him. Parker Cothran came over to finish it off.
Yeah, I always get a little bit nervous when you start running sideways to go forward. But they were able to get that thing done. Well done.
First down at the 40. Pigram in trouble. And Pigram is sacked. Back at the 35-yard line, Robert Windsor in there to finish him off. The 4th sack of the day for Penn State.
Yeah. Now Windsor should turn around and thank John Reed because he was looking for that same deep shot. And Reed was all over that coverage. And because of that, he had to pull the thing down, and it sets up the 2nd and 15.
Give Kevin Givens, the freshman from Altoona, Pennsylvania, a little credit on that sack as well. 2nd and 15 at the 35. Pigram, good protection. Nobody open. Pigram will just tuck it and run, and he gets yardage out of bounds near the 36-yard line, a yard or so before Windsor chased him out.
And that's what Brent Pry, the defensive coordinator from Penn State's doing. We said it earlier. Because, okay, we're gonna make you use your arm to beat us. And at this point, we don't think you're ready for that. So they'll do the same thing here on 3rd down.
3rd and 15. Hill's still on the sidelines. That injury in the 2nd quarter, he has not been able to come back.
Keep in mind, Kevin, it's not only the throwing, it's the seeing and reading of the coverages.
Pigram pressed again with flags down. Pigram trying to make something happen, and it takes a big hit at the end of the play by Malik Golden as a result. Those flags thrown in the backfield looking like a hole.
Yeah, and you'll decline this, and you'll take the punt. So Penn State's pass rush showed up today.
Offense number 58. Penalties decline. 4th down.
And it's an offensive line for Maryland, Matt, that's in a bit of a program growth mode right now. They're mixing combinations, trying different guys from here to there. This is something that DJ Durkin talked about with us before the game. He said, look, we're just trying to find 5 guys, 8 guys, 7 guys, whoever we can have that can play consistent football on the offensive line.
Prince is actually their best one. They're going to go for it here on 4th down because they think if they don't get this, they're sunk.
4th and 10 at their own 40. Pigram looking deep down the sideline. That pass incomplete. He overshot Lever and Jacobs. And Penn State's defense comes up with the hold again.
Haley was all over it. He was all over it. He had no shot at it.
Timeout here at State College. Penn State football up 17. Great trying to move themselves to 2-1 in conference play and 4-2 overall. Iowa, Minnesota playing. We're going to get an update on the Gophers and the Hawkeyes coming up in just a bit from Mike Hall in our studios in Chicago. Penn State able to get the hold, though, and they now take over first down at the Maryland 40-yard line. McSorley going to run. And he'll just slide down at the 42, and we'll slide to Chicago for a T-Mobile studio update with Mike Hall.
Yeah, the latest in the battle for the Floyd of Rosedale is coming out of nowhere. Akram Wadley, boom, 54 yards with 5.5 minutes to play in the game. That's Iowa's longest play of the year. They go for 2 and get it, so now they're up 7.
Floyd's on the line. All bets are off between Iowa and Minnesota. Thank you, Mike. 2nd and 12 at the 42-yard line.
Ready to go.
Here's Barkley. Saquon Barkley not finding much room this time. Just inside the 40-yard line. Shane Cockrell on the stop. Our Duluth Trading hardest working player, Saquon Barkley, 198 yards on 29 carries, both career highs. I'd say he has worked awfully hard today.
And knowing Say, I guarantee there's one thing on his mind. The fumble. He doesn't care about the 200 yards. He cares that he coughed it up.
3rd down and 10. Wendy Laurent in at left guard for Ryan Bates right now. Laurent, a versatile guy who's been very involved in that line over the years. McSorley with the pocket collapsing, and he's sacked. Back near the 49-yard line. 3rd time today, Maryland has gotten to McSorley. Braglio was in there along with Anna Bonham, and Anna Bonham has had at least a half sack in every game this year.
Yeah, and those are the 2 guys who had to be productive for him. And so Carter forced him to come up. And then Anna Bonham and Braglio are right there.
So the punt team on for Penn State. We saw the last time they punted, and now once again, Daniel Pasquarello on the punt now for Penn State. It had been Blake Gillikin, now Pasquarello's 2nd punt. Fair catch signal and made at the 10-yard line by Likely. And Maryland with 8:58 to go in the 4th. Down 31-14 and going back to work on offense. From the 10 for Maryland when we return. Football on BTN is brought to you by State Farm. Talk to an agent today at 800-STATE-FARM. Already had our Matt Millen throwback earlier today. Good to see another glimpse of my partner in action.
I posed for that. Didn't take me long.
You look good.
Thank you.
A good hair day for you.
Oh, absolutely.
Pigram still in at quarterback from the 10-yard line. Swing pass to Jacobs. Jacobs unable to get back to the line of scrimmage down at the 8-yard line. Brandon Smith again leading the way for Penn State.
So Smith made the tackle. Cole Farmer made the play. Cole Farmer's played a good game here.
Yes.
Brandon Smith has played a good game also. Been very productive in the tackling department, but I think the perimeter, Penn State's defense today really showed up.
How much easier is it for these Penn State defenders right now with what is obviously a very limited set of plays for Pigram?
It's a lot easier. And so you're saying go ahead and try to beat us with your arm like we talked about.
Pressure coming. Pigram dancing away. Pigram in trouble. Still eluded. Pigram. And Pigram down with a yard gained on the play to the 9-yard line. Schwann finally finished him off.
Schwann and Brandon Smith again. Schwann right there. Sickles got a little bit of pressure on the top side, forced it on the out. Schwann stayed there, and Brandon Smith had a really good game here today.
3rd down and 11. Pigram. A wobbler to the sideline. Moore coming back, but he couldn't get there in time to make the catch. It's incomplete. And it's 4th down on the punt. Once more comes Wade Lease.
That's exactly, Kev, that's exactly what they're saying. They're saying, look, beat us with your arm. You're not going to beat us with your feet. You're not going to run the football if you're going to do it. And so, to quote Bill Belichick, we're going to make you play left-handed. You're a righty, you're going lefty. And if you can beat us, more power to you. But we don't think you can.
Tompkins and Garrity back for Penn State. This is Tompkins with the fair catch signal and made at midfield. Penn State will go back to work with a 31-14 lead. 7:40 to play.
Purdue and Illinois in the battle for the Purdue Cannon. Since 1943, they've been fighting for it, but it's the first time Lovie Smith will try to fight for it as head coach of the Fighting Illini. Again, Purdue and Illinois comes up. It's about a half hour from now here on BTN. But in the meantime, once your game ends, we'll come in back to the studio. We'll run through all these storylines and much more. For now, back out to Kev.
31-14 here with Penn State trying to close out Maryland and move to 4-2 on the season. 2-1 in Big Ten play if they can hang on to this one.
It'll be a big win for James Franklin and a program for DJ Durkin. Nice start. How they respond to this game will be huge.
First down and 10. There's Barkley with a carry. And Saquon Barkley eyeing 200 yards.
There's no
He's
need for him to be in there anymore. Get him out.
Our Benjamin Moore game changers. How about the combination of McSorley and Barkley on the ground? 48 rushes, 281 rush yards.
Well, McSorley opened it up for Barkley and vice versa.
Unofficially now, 200 yards for Saquon Barkley. First 200-yard game since Bill Belton did it against Illinois for Penn State a couple of years back. Gesicki, who played a big role early, not only from a receiving standpoint, but just almost a distraction standpoint.
Yeah, and I thought what Joe Moorhead did with Gesicki was really smart. And so he eliminated and canceled out a defender by moving him outside the box. And then on second down, third down, he was key in that first half, moving the chains.
On third down, Barkley working his way through traffic, and he gets the first to the 40-yard line. Anna Bonham and Woods combined on the stop.
That was all Barkley. And that's him coming up looking for it. That's why he shouldn't be in there now.
25th 200-yard rushing game in Penn State history, and Saquon Barkley limps off, and Jesse Anna Bonham stays down for Maryland. Both of those injuries critical, hopefully neither serious. Like the left leg of Jesse Anna Bonham is what they were examining, the athletic training staff on the field for Maryland. See where he got hit.
Well, you're going to see Gesicki 88 coming. He kind of drops. And Anna Bonham still follows through and gets in on that play, and he's up and walking off. But
every Wednesday night, 11 p.m. Eastern, Mike Hall's got his new late night show. It's called Sports Light with Mike Hall. If you haven't watched it yet, you'll see Mike hanging out with your favorite Big Ten athletes, coaches, alums, and fans. Plus, he's got correspondents in New York and Los Angeles to spread the word of the Big Ten from coast to coast. Sports Light with Mike Hall, Wednesday night, 11 Eastern on BTN. And one of the things that Mike talked about this week on Sports Light showed up today. I don't know why more people aren't just taking notes and listening to everything Mike says. We'll tell you that in a moment as the give is to Mark Allen, and Allen to the 39-yard line. Now, Mike talked about last week these plays against Minnesota that eventually led to a penalty. Joey Julius gets lit up. Well, you saw it again today. History repeats itself. The kick out of bounds and the blast from Isaiah Davis that got him ejected from the game.
yeah, well, anytime you get a kicker who likes to get down there and try to tackle people, you're going to get blocked. Guaranteed.
The moral of the story is don't go after Joey Julius and listen to everything Mike Hall says on BTN. He can lead you through your life, people. Second and 9. McSorley over the middle looking for Gesicki. It's incomplete. There's the flag. Shane Cockrell on the coverage.
Gesicki was trying to get to the middle. Actually, was pretty well covered. Cockrell just kind of flopped around, but not Cockrell, but Gesicki flopped
Pass
around.
interference. Defense number 2.
Right here.
Ball will be placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
Cockrell gives him that push right there, and that's what they call. You have to account for Mike Gesicki in the passing game, and he needs to work on his run game. That's why I really like what Joe Moorhead did in getting him out of the box. That was smart.
He's out again. Top side of your screen, along with 2 receivers. In is Miles Sanders, the freshman running back.
He's had a little bit of a problem holding on to the ball.
Sanders with the corner. Fresh legs. Sanders down the sideline. Touchdown. The cherry on top for Miles Sanders.
Did I mention that he has really good run skills?
Not bad for your first touchdown as a true freshman.
Well, let's just see if he's in all the way. And he is. Not even close.
What a day for the Penn State run game. It may not have been done in the same formations as Penn State of old, but similar results to Penn State of old on the ground.
Now, I got to tell you, Joe Moorhead, their offensive coordinator, I think he called himself a heck of a game. I thought he had a great game plan coming in, and I thought his play selection was spot on. And it just gets a nice open field, and he's going to take advantage of it. And who's his biggest supporter? Saquon Barkley.
Big hug. The running back's productive today. And a lot of smiles on that Penn State sideline in a 38-14 lead. There's a lot of discussion amongst media and some fans as to whether or not this game will develop a rivalry. Well, go get those offensive line a little love, too.
You know, I got to tell you, I'm all for a pat on the back and all that. I would have asked for a hamburger instead of that.
Maybe $10. Buy me lunch. Likely. And Likely stacked up before he gets to the 20-yard line. Aaron Monroe on the stop.
I got to tell you, this Will Likely, he's really fun to watch. And they're going to leave here with a loss, but not because of his play. Ultra competitive, great return skills, has cover skills. Now, he's not a real big guy. He's like 5'8", but that kid can play. He is really fun to watch.
And obviously, when you look ahead for Maryland, you're talking about Maryland with a healthy quarterback or experience from Tyrell Piggy, who's out there still for the injured Perry Hills. But this team has a lot to look forward to as the season goes along. Nowhere to go with Sharif Miller in the backfield on Teldrick Morgan. As you look ahead for this Maryland squad, down 38-14, DJ Durkin in his first year, but Minnesota, Michigan State, Indiana, they've got Rutgers at the end of the year. Are there enough winnable games in there for Maryland to get to a bowl game?
Yeah, I think the answer to that is yes. I think DJ Durkin has them pointed in the right direction. I think what you're seeing right now, with Pigram in here right now, this is not what they are. And so Penn State has put them in a position to just be one-dimensional right now. They won't be that.
2nd and 15. A little glimpse of a hole for Ty Johnson before it shuts down at the 21.
But if you look at what they have, like they have a stable of running backs. And that stable's pretty darn good. They're going to need Perry Hills healthy. And Pigram will continue to develop. But he's not there right now. What they really need right now is that offensive line to come together. Because right now they're inconsistent in that offensive line. And I thought Penn State took advantage of that, particularly on the edges today, with Sickles and Schwan.
On 3rd and 8, Pigram under pressure. He's going to run. And Pigram down. Sharif Miller with the stop near the 24. And on comes the team for Maryland one last time.
DJ Durkin knows it. Live for another day. And there's more games to win. I think he's a terrific coach. I think he brings great enthusiasm. I think he gives great focus to the teams. I think he's one of those guys that'll get this thing straightened out down at Maryland, and it'll be back to the Ralph Friedgen days and, bowl games. I think that's on his plate.
Lease with the punt. Fair catch called for by Tompkins and made at the 33. Now, one thing you say about this Penn State defense is the goal this week, according to Brent Pry, was we can't let their minds tie up their feet.
Right, which was really smart.
And it seems like they were able to accomplish that.
And so what does that mean? That means we have to simplify things. That means we can't overburden them with thinking at the line of scrimmage, because it's really not about the thought process. It's about the decision-making process. So you want to try to eliminate as much decision-making as possible. They play freer. They play faster. I think Brent Pry accomplished that today.
New quarterback for Penn State as Tommy Stevens, the redshirt freshman out of Indianapolis, Decatur Central High School product, getting his first extended opportunity here from the 33-yard line. He's got Mark Allen as his running back, and he'll keep it himself on first down and powers forward through the tackle of Chandler Burkett to get near the 38-yard line. And Tommy Stevens, 6'4", almost 220 pounds, shows he's not afraid to run into some contact.
Yeah, nothing better than getting you into the game than that first smack. I don't care what level it is. That first one feels good.
2:40 and counting to go in this one. Penn State about to move to 4-2 and 2-1 in league play with the bye week ahead for the Nittany Lions. Good time for a bye. This team is banged up. Allen steps through the tackle, hits the corner. Allen knocked out of bounds in Maryland territory. J.C. Jackson on the stop. This is what's to come after the bye. Now, you've got a daunting task with Ohio State. The win has been given by our crew here to this one, 4-2 record now. Then Purdue, Iowa, Indiana, Rutgers, Michigan State. That's a schedule that James Franklin can get some momentum towards the end of the season.
Yeah, he'll have a tough time against Ohio State, who I think is the best team in the country. I think it's the fastest team, most talented team.
Down at the 46. Stevens on the keep, and Stevens with the first down. Now, technically, Penn State, with the time remaining, could take a knee, and if Maryland didn't call timeouts, they could run this thing out.
And they may do that.
But the experience is good as well for a whole bunch of guys who've not had a lot of opportunities.
Especially a young quarterback. You see Franklin's talking to the officials right now about it while they run this play.
Yes. First down and 10.
Nice day by Trace McSorley.
152 yards through the air, 81 on the ground. He was over 100 in yards gained, but he took the sacks, and that hurt the overall yardage. Stevens again on the keep. And Stevens upended inside the 25. A first down to the 22. Melvin Kane on the tackle.
Just shut it down right now.
First down and 10 for Stevens. Stevens the keep again. Stevens to the corner. Stevens looking for the goal line. Touchdown.
There's going to be a hold, though, Kevin. That's coming back.
Jonathan Holland was out on the edge, right in the area where the flag was thrown. The freshman tight end.
Holding. Offense number 18. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Repeat, first down.
Smile on the face of Tommy Stevens. He saw his first touchdown taken off the board.
Yeah, but you want to know something? That doesn't matter because the rep and the experience is more important than all that. So Stevens is getting the right read. Watch, he's reading in. Going to come right back inside now, run away from everybody. And you can see the hold right there. More of a mauling.
Not sure what the penalty is for mauling.
I don't know.
Or the signal, for that matter.
Could be creative on that one.
And now they're going to take a knee. So Penn State content to head out of this one with a 38-14 win over Maryland. James Franklin's Nittany Lions, very impressive in State College today.
Well, we talked about Trace McSorley. He did his job. We talked about Saquon Barkley. He did his job. And I do credit Joe Moorhead, the offensive coordinator, because I thought he did a terrific job.
All-around solid effort today, and Saquon Barkley with a career high in rushing yardage and in attempts. And for DJ Durkin in Maryland, there are days you move forward and days that you go back to the drawing board. I'll go back to the drawing board after this one.
And then he'll move forward.
Absolutely. As we check in downstairs with Lisa Byington.
Well, Coach, you wanted to make the run game an emphasis, and what a day your run game had. What was different this afternoon?
I think getting our quarterback involved, Trace McSorley, was a big part of it. That's not something we had done a whole lot of before today, so I thought that really helped us. And then Saquon, I think, is running harder right now, and he's breaking some big ones.
Describe what you saw from Saquon Barkley today.
Really, to be honest with you, our O-line is getting better every single day. They're covering guys up. They're finishing blocks more. Saquon's got the ability to make people miss, break tackles. We all know how good he is. Our offensive line now is starting to give him a chance consistently.
The most rushing yards in your tenure here at Penn State. If I were to totally tell you that this team was going to accomplish that from where you have been here in the previous weeks, what were the possibilities of that right now for this team?
I love how you say my tenure. I've been here 3 years. I haven't been here very long, but I'm proud of our guys today.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Saquon Barkley, 200-yard day today to pace that rushing attack for Penn State. Joe Moorhead getting congratulations to his quarterback, Trace McSorley, who had a solid day as well. And Maryland on their way out of here with their first loss of the season. Penn State getting ready for their alma mater here at Beaver Stadium. Running back and a happy Penn State squad today. They win it 38-14. Coming up, the Boilermakers visit Champaign for a battle with the Illini. But first, we'll head back to Chicago for a game break. For Matt Millen, Lisa Byington, Dick Honig, I'm Kevin Kugler saying so long from Penn State University.